Alright, let me go live, because I know people are waiting. I could just do this while I'm talking. But peace and salute to everybody. Alright. Now, ooh, I gotta send some pictures to my... Hopefully, they don't charge me for overusing my hotspot. I don't know how that works, but I know I don't got much left. But we're gonna give it a go anyway. Even though I pay the bill tomorrow, but I want to talk about you know, Jesus. I have this map too, man, that shows Lucifer as the son and it had me thinking. I was looking at it this morning. Okay. The black hole sun, they say, is feminine, and Helios is masculine. That's why you got hundreds, and it could be vice versa, but that's how they show it on this map. It's the same map avatar. And they kind of got the candy cane stripe at the North Pole. Or behind Jesus' head, you always see the cross with the halo, and if you tip, it's an X. Or the cross is the compass. Put off, to me, signifies the North Pole, especially in these old maps. And then there's two other nodes, two other mountains that are on this map, which would be your positive and your negative mountain, that are on each side of the center, Mount Meru, or whatever you want to call it, Rupus Nigra. They also have, I have to get pictures of these nodes. So, because it's in the map from 15, forgot the guy's name, but it has a node on each side. And I didn't recognize him until Jay Dreamers pointed it out. And you know, a lot of these people worship Lucifer, supposedly, right? People are just going off of what other people say. I want to see hardcore proof. There's never any pictures of these people caught in the woods worshiping. Now, I'm not saying they don't, and I'm not saying they do. I truthfully don't know. People say a lot of things. A lot of things. A lot of stuff people go by is what someone else is telling them. I start to look at things that way. Like, is that really true? Especially after going through religion, where you're taking somebody's word for everything. I seen a video with what's that guy's name, man? He says a lot. He drops a lot of wisdom. I give him that. Dick Gregory, and he said reading is going against the universe or something like that. You know, reading being somebody else's writing. You don't know if it's true or not, but who told him that it's going against the universe? Huh. I wonder how true that is, Michigander. Yeah, I seen some video with him, and you know, they play these audios and stuff. And the scary thing is they could chop these audios up, just like you see what they do with these short videos. They chop them up, and a lot of people that know what they're doing, they look pretty damn good. Like you can't even tell. 'Cause I've done it. I've chopped my own stuff up, and I've taken bits and pieces from different, and you could make it sound just like you said that at that point, that time. So, man, they could take your face probably and put it somewhere you was never there. But they won't sell you that package when they're trying to get you to put cameras everywhere, and that's a part of the technology they won't sell. They won't tell you. There could be a chance that this and this can happen because people won't buy it or go for it. But there's so many that I shared that video of that guy about what he said about the Bible and how I don't want to misquote the guy, but he was basically saying what I've been saying for a while, that Jesus is Lucifer or Satan and all that. Like, to be honest, where's the hardcore evidence? I'm just gonna step out of all that, and where's the hardcore proof that this devil exists, right? Because people do evil things, they say the devil exists. I think a lot of it is these characters are made up to symbolize stuff. It could be an ego. It could be just, in a lot of these symbols, you see a negative and a positive, always a duality. And duality was created by man, supposedly, right? Or was it? There's so many questions that people want answered. A lot of them is hearsay. Like, a lot of the preachers talk about life after death, like they died and went there. I was talking about that with somebody, and I was like, that's fucking fallacy. They're selling all these people dreams. They didn't die and go there. How do they know? They're going by a book, what a book says. Has anyone died? Yeah, I hear stories of people dying to come back, but what they don't know is Chuck died and came back, and I didn't see any of that shit. No lights, no, you know, I think they pay a lot of these people to say that. I'm not, or you know, I don't want to discredit anyone, but peace, Olsen Yemi, Vex, Michigander, Mark Basket. Like, I'll never forget the first time I heard the Jesus walking on water story about the sun, the actual sun. And the person was explaining what, the sun walks on water when it sets over the ocean. And that shit made 100% sense to me. Excuse me. And I had never heard that version. My whole life, I'd be like, man, nobody ain't walk on no water. It's impossible. I used to be an idiot and try to run off land and try to, like, skip across the water and be like, I could do that shit if Jesus could. My ego and shit, right? But just looking at all these symbols and finding that, I don't know where that kid got that footage, man, of that underground base. I mean, could they be worshiping Lucifer? Because look in this picture of it's the black hole sun. No, they say they use nuclear. That guy said they use nuclear plant underground to. Oh my God. Man, sorry about that. A phone call. I hate that. Never fails. Where was I here? Damn, what was I talking about? I'm gonna pull up some pics in a minute. I'm just nervous that this shit better, I know how these phone companies work, man. I've had them for so long. They'll let you go over. Like, I don't even understand how I got unlimited everything, but they're gonna limit my hotspot. Like, you know, I just don't want to go over. It says I got 10% left. They start charging. They better not. Because I'm going to be like, they ain't tell me nothing about that. No limit. But anyway, they'll charge you. Yeah, I died probably for like 10 minutes, Osanyemi, and then it was the craziest feeling though. I felt, it was like my, it felt like, I always say this, a computer shut down. My mother, my girl at the time, it was like these flashes of people in my I don't know if it's because I was losing a lot of blood. And then I came back to. It felt like seconds, but it was minutes, I guess. But anyway. You know, it's crazy how the ancestors celebrated when people died, and now they got us fearing to die. I see a little problem with that, to be honest. Um, yeah, I had a phone call, that's why it muted. But all these stories and symbols, I think, align to something. And they, you know, people took like the sun and moon, and if you read a lot of these stories of the different ancestors from all over, they always take like the sun and moon. They have some good stories of the creation stories. And I look at the Bible, it's the same way. Um, except for Revelations. To me, that's their plan. Um, and as far as them underground bases, that's what I was talking about. I've never seen such high ceilings. I mean, a giant could walk underground. The kid had a video I took. That's where I took the snippet from. Peace and all, and peace. So I'm a and I just took the footage of him showing that underground video clip because I was like shocked. I've never seen. You know, I was like, someone had to get footage of one of these underground bases. Little do I know, I grabbed that. That's the only basic footage I've seen besides a video of the one in Colorado where the military is. They let people go in there, uh, but only so far. You know, they didn't let them go. And then you hear the story of the guy talking about you need clearance to go down, and I added that in. And once you started talking about aliens, I already know that, you know, a lot of these whistleblowers are sent because they have an agenda to it. When they start talking alien and their shit, it's all about this. And I got a new footage I want people to see of this. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it's these lights in the sky, they're UFOs, and they shoot this like direct energy beam down at a airport, and it takes the power out. I'm gonna load it and upload it in the shorts, but I don't know if I could play it without getting striked. I kind of altered it, but I didn't save it yet. I'm editing it now. I got it saved. I gotta finish editing. I'm upload it in the short today. I don't know why that didn't go viral, but that stupid phone call with the guy saying they crashed in my yard, and it shows this like fake aliens ducking down in the bushes. It's like, come on. But people love that shit, man. They fall for it. They rather give credit to some dookie alien than the ancestors for some odd reason. You know, like all these stories with the fallen angels and all that. Like, just think for a second about these so-called powerful fallen angels with the knowledge of everything. Why the fuck would they be hiding underground? If you had that much knowledge and that much power to build weapons, you're hiding underground? It don't even make sense to me. Those fucking things would be conquered in this world, and they would be sitting on thrones. Even though they probably could be underground. But like I said, why would they hide? And if this God was all-knowing and all-powerful, what would he let all that happen for? So those are the type of questions I've always had with this religion in their stories. You could look at the fallen angel story as souls falling down to the earth when a woman gets pregnant. That's what I was thinking. No, we are the fallen angels. My roommate telling me the Yankees had a no-hitter. Fuck sports. That shit's rigged anyway. Rigged ass games. Um, but yeah, it's the same model. This is like one of the. I was looking at this model that I have in my avatar, and I was looking at the Black Sun, and I was thinking about what that soldier said. Now, Dean had mentioned that it could be an actor, but if you look at the guy that's speaking, his uniform, he's not an actor. That uniform looks 100% official to me. Where all the patch, it don't look like no Hollywood uniform. Even though um, they could get it to look pretty close to the real, but the real always has something that the fake don't. And the whole point of them talking about underground bases is because that it's just odd how they're coming out now and saying something. You know, maybe those Bohr machines are this whole time that Bohr machines were putting extra train tracks in all these years. Like, them Bohr machines been going since what? 70s maybe? Probably longer than that. I haven't looked, but pretty sure they've been boring out for a while. Now, and then in that video, the kid talked about the flood, and he said they went underground to hide. Where that giant survived the flood, it stated, right? And he was like, where could they have ran? He said in a cave where a giant could only close it off. Now, my only problem with that is these people think they still live on a ball, but if they know anything about water, this place it has to be water has to get contained to rise up. Um, anyway, I went off track with that one. But when I was listening to him talk about it, I had to leave that in the comments because it was bothering me. I had to tell him, in order for your God to flood this place, the water has to rise that high to drown giants or titans. It has to be contained. Water don't magically just start rising. But a lot of people just don't see that for some reason. Anyway, let me get some of these photos. Let's see what happens. They charge me some dough, which they won't. I don't even want to speak that into existence. Uh-oh. No, why are you doing that? Retarded. Nobody ever. No, no, nobody wanted to sign into them. Okay, I was about to say, like, what's wrong with this thing? Alright, I know I'm gonna get choppy, so let me switch over. I'll be right back. Alright, bet. Now I have to see if I can download these pictures. Let's see. Or maybe I can do this. Nope, that's not it. Nope. No. Well, that sucks. I didn't think I'm gonna have to go to the stupid gallery. Where would that be? Oh yeah, the Telegram gallery. That's right. Okay. Oh. This sucks. I'm sitting here trying to find these stupid pictures now. This is not good. Yep. I did it again. I don't understand why it's not. Maybe I sent it wrong. But I'll figure it out right now. What did I do wrong? That's the problem. Come on, man. Stop playing this bullshit. It said save to gallery, but what gallery are they talking about? I wonder if I could slide them over. Like this. Stop it. Like this, like this. Okay. My bad, everyone, man. I just can't find these pictures. It said save to gallery. Maybe I'm just retarded. Gallery. Okay. this. Just want to open. No, I don't want to do that either. I don't want to watch videos. Last time I fucking did this shit, man. It worked. Now it wants to play games. Like, why? This is insane. I gotta go through all this. Wow. I don't know, man. Unless I could share Telegram, it's ruining my entire presentation. This is the BS I'm talking about. It's always something. Alright. Can y'all hear me? Oh, but you can hear me. Because it's not. Can y'all hear me or no? Anyone? Put a 1. Oh, you could hear me? Alright, good. I figured it out. The mic's probably choppy because I'm switching pictures. Let me put my phone over here. I found these pictures. I forgot the guy's name. Bex knows what I'm talking about. Where he took the moon and he mapped it out. Right there is a better one. I want to scroll up and down. Which pretty much sucks. Anyway, there we go. Oh shit, stop playing with me. There we go. You can see, oh my god. Here we go. How he mapped it out. And I think it's actually pretty genius. With these outer lands out here, you know, nobody really knows the names, but he named them Nibiru and all this stuff. Mars up here. Now who's to say? That wouldn't make sense. But anyway, the point is, Africa is a big continent. Even Australia. Because I got proof in these old maps that Australia is way bigger than they show in today's map. Way bigger. Here's South America. This would be us right here in North America. Here's the North Pole at the center. And then he says Lemuria. Now, damn, that kind of makes sense. Because this would be the spot on the globe where there's absolutely nothing but water. You know, on that spot on the globe where there's land everywhere else, but there's that one big spot where you spin the globe and there's nothing but water from Cali all the way to Asia. And then in some old maps, they show Lemuria, and then all of a sudden it disappears. So, and if you look at flight logs, I don't think any flights go. I'm gonna have to get some. Look hard and find these flight paths that people put on the. I forgot the name of the map. Equidistant or some name. Because what they show you on the globe is completely different. It doesn't add up when you put flight paths on the globe. But anyway, I think this guy did a pretty damn good job with this. Is it 100% fact? Who knows? But I like what he's done. He's showing right here, like the won't let me. Stupid. It's the stupid mouse. I like right here how he shows. So he's saying the moon is outside the dome. I don't know what he's saying here. It's in Spanish. But anyway. Firmware. There's the cosmic egg. Okay. Where's these pictures? Here we go. I don't know if anyone else has seen his pictures, but I just found these one day. These are new. I've never seen. Oh shit. Maybe it comes from his book. So what would, I think that center light right here, if you can see my mouse, would be, let me make sure everyone's still there. Okay. Whew. The center piece would be Polaris, and I always thought Polaris would create the sun and moon through the center, but he's saying the black sun, which is underneath, if I'm not mistaken, is wrong, and he said the light comes up through the ground from this right here, the black sun, which goes in circles. Now, that's hearsay until we could prove it, but when that soldier said they have nuclear reactors underground, it's how they get their electricity. Maybe it's not a nuclear reactor. Maybe it's the black sun, which is the main source to all this. It could be. I don't know. I can't prove it. So I ain't going to say it's factual, but it's my theory until I could prove it. I wonder what made him think of this. The diamond. He put Polaris, the black sun, Luna, and Sol. Damo Electrico, give me my electricity. Or it's Dame, not Damo. 23 degrees. So what would that star be? What? There's the moon. There's the sun. So what the heck is that? That's a southern star? No. What's he talking about? Oh, okay. Hey. Where'd you go? Yeah, this got to be from his book. I got to buy his book. That's for sure. I want to know what everyone thinks about this. We could also talk about the sun and the moon, and if anyone's got any information or stories of these deities you tie into the sun and the moon, like Lucifer being the Luna. I think Lucifer is the woman because these religions turned it all gay. When they put two men, it's just weird. I said it. Oops. The Aurora Borealis. Thanks to Gabriel too, man. You gave me some good videos I've been watching. The Indian dude from India, the yogi. I've seen some of his stuff before. He could sit in that position for hours, man. I tried that in a meditative position. You know, my legs be hurting. That dude's got to be in some shape to sit like that for hours. But this is how I think our realm's set up. But I want to know if we could like do a test to see if the light is coming through the ground that makes the stars, or are we the stars? I've heard so many versions, but I like this model. Could have sworn I've sent more pictures than this. Guess not. Why are people putting the sun outside the domer? See, it's in Spanish. I didn't realize that. Pea sugar seeds. And that's good, Gabriel. I like his videos. I sub to both of them channels. Because believe it or not, a lot of their cosmology and to me, the Eastern cosmology makes more sense than the cosmic egg and all that. Makes way more sense to me than any Western philosophy or cosmology or they took a lot of their stuff from the East, flipped it, bounced it, remixed it, and turned it into some nonsense. Damn, there's supposed to be more pictures, but I don't think they got sent. Damn. So, like this one. Can y'all see this sperm? Good. Now I'm going to jump into the tree of life real quick. And I like how this bottom picture shows, oops. Evolution is just a theory. And it shows the brain with the spine, the stem looks like the sperm head with the tail. And I was like, wow, I never looked at it like that. Because that could be the brain, the sperm head, and the tail is the spine. And then it grows its arms and legs. And then the third leg, if need be. And the real tree of life is in the woman, the placenta. Now, from micro to macro, I'm not saying the tree of life isn't at the North Pole either. But it's called Mother Earth for a reason. Amin Ra. Amen. And that don't even sound right when people say amen. It's always some men shit, right? In religion, it's always about men, men, men. Spooky. Where's the women? They condemned them. Why? So they're saying the physical is the sun we see, and the mental is the black sun underneath. I think that's what they're saying. And look how they put the Vesica Pisces for the eyeball. I always thought that would be the womb, the vortex, the Vesica Pisces. 2 legs spread with the vagina in the center coming through the portal. I don't know. Man, I got to get better at this. But this too, I just want to show. I found this picture, man, and the Manly P. Hall is reading how they make these buildings as the human body. When I found this picture, I said, man, I need this picture. Give me that. Because it aligns perfectly with that. I think that's it. Let me see. Oh, what are you doing? I'm supposed to send one more picture over. I don't know what happened to it. This is that clock. Right here. But from what I understand, this clock doesn't have the moon on it. If you look, I don't think that's the moon unless it was added in. But there's an old clock and it only has the sun. So this got to be a newer version. I got to find the old one to prove it. Because people are going to say I'm full of shit. But yeah. Anyway. Peace, Gabriel, man. Thanks for coming by. I was about to say, wow. I was about to say, like, yo, I never dropped the link. Who's in my fucking. I was bugging. That was crazy. That had me bugged out, man. I'm like, who the hell? How did they get back there? I thought it was this cat returning to ask 100 questions with a question. Yeah, I'll have better tomorrow. I pay that bill. I don't trust them people, man. They'll jerk you. I just don't get how. I gotta talk to them because it's mind-boggling me how they could say I only have a certain amount of hotspot. My internet signal is unlimited. So does anyone else have that on their bill? Is it, maybe it's new to me. I don't know. I have T-Mobile, which is probably owned by 100 other people. Who's bugging? Oh, maybe not me. Oh yeah, yeah. When I seen the Vesica Pisces, it reminds me of the two-leg spread giving birth with the portal. It's also on the MasterCard. Actually, it's on a lot of credit cards, that symbol. Peace, Paula. Minis is Norma. Yeah. Peace, the realist McCoy. Yeah, but that's my problem with this devil stuff, man. People do evil shit, they blame the devil. And I think that's set up for a reason. Instead of holding the people accountable for what they've done, they've always blamed this devil. I've never seen no devil. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Now, I felt crazy presence of spirits, maybe, or dark energy, but as far as this devil character, he's weak. In that book, the devil's a chump because he has to trick people into doing stuff for him because he's weak. He has no powers. He's a fucking chump. So in that book, that's one. Like I said, of all these fallen angels that they had all the God secrets and were powerful. Like I said, they would be running this joint as far as like showing their face and shit. They would be straight up stomping around here. Not to say they probably can't run it, and maybe they want to stay hidden because they're ugly as fuck. But I don't know. So who knows what's underground?
Hey, Those speaking of that underground stuff, I caught a bunch of stuff even from Discovery Channel about underground civilizations, and it all started dumping the last couple days. And another one was that's part of the lawsuit against Trump, I guess. One of the reasons they arrested him was something about Tartarian maps or something that he released to the public or something. So that means there'll be a floodgate of that shit coming.
Yeah. I'm just saying, Realist McCoy, the devil probably, in my opinion, don't even exist, man. Those are just evil people. Um, the devil's making them do it. That's crazy. Those people know what they're doing.
Fucking ain't right, they do. It's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're right on the money with what you're spitting too, because you can see it when you step back and look. You can see it.
Yeah, those pictures I had of the moon. The guy's name is Vibes of Cosmos, I think. Vibes of Cosmos, or something like that. And man, I like his theory on the moon being the map of here. Um, People have taken it a step further, and I have my disagreements on that, but I think Vibes of Cosmos is the closest because his theory makes more sense to me than that being a map of an entire infinite realm. Like, where's all this light coming from to make that? Anyway, I don't want to get off track with that, but yeah, it's all questionable, Dark Command. I agree with that. Because, you know, I don't know. A lot of these stories, when people say they're in a psych ward and the devil made them do it, they say that because they know it's a Class A ticket to not be in a prison. They'll lock you in a psych ward. They would rather be there than in prison. But like I said, man, I don't know. When the people's ancestors made stories of the sun and the moon and the stars and the craziest one, man, be the white people's versions, right? They always put in some wicked devil. It's always some crazy shit when you look at religions. Um, Actually, religions are the ones who started that wicked devil, and you're gonna burn in hell. True cosmology stories, from what I've read, from the darkest person to the lightest person, never had no burning in hell and all this shit. Hell was the ground, which had, of course, fire and all that stuff, but I've never heard of any of them saying you'd be condemned. Well, no, I'm wrong. Let me retract that. They said, damn, what was the name of that guy who was the king of the underground? I read it through the Mayans. Shit, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. I'd have to look into it. But yeah, man, that's about all I wanted to talk about. I didn't have nothing special planned, really. Tomorrow I'll have something better. I ain't taking chances of going over that hotspot. I need to find out more because it says I can do it through Bluetooth. I've tried, but it won't let me. Does anyone know about that? Y'all could come up if anyone wants to talk about whatever you want. I showed what I had to show. I want to show more, but I'm not. Tomorrow I'll show whatever I want to show. I have a bunch of pictures and a bunch of stuff that I'm going to talk about with the pictures, but I'm not trying to go over that 10% so they could charge me $1,000 a minute afterwards. What? Let me find. Damn, I got that footage of that that I'm gonna put it on my short though. I'm gonna upload it in a little while. That UFO with the direct energy weapon. The government. The governmental. The governmentals. I went an hour. Nobody wants to come up. That's cool. I'm probably gonna end it. Oh, right when I was about to end it. See that? What's up, Bex?
Hey, Charles, how are you?
All right.
Good. Good to hear.
Hanging
Were you just
in
about to end it? Because I was just going to pop up and say hi.
there. I don't want to end it. I want to chop it up with people, but people are busy. I get it. I showed what I had to show for now.
It's
I'm
super
not trying
interesting.
to go over on. I just don't get why they're saying I only have 10% of my hotspot left. Like, it's unlimited everything. So since when? I don't know. It's new to me. I gotta
Are
ask
you
him about that.
are you just can you hop back onto your phone so that you don't use your hotspot?
Yeah, I'm on my phone now. I hop back on phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that Vibes of Cosmos I've been super into since I discovered them in 2020. But Divergent, if you go back about a year maybe, Divergent bought the book and he went through some good. He really zoomed in on some areas. He bought the digital book and he probably sold copies for Vibes of Cosmos with how much he sort of chastised people for not purchasing it. He's like, so I got this book and it's super cool and you can zoom in and you have it forever and you're stupid not to buy it. I still haven't bought it, but when I eventually do, it would all be because of Divergence.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it too.
Yeah. Yeah, but if people do want to see, or I don't know if you've seen those videos as well, I assume that might be where you saw it first. You know, Divergent really goes into detail where Vibes of Cosmos kind of just does quick videos of different aspects of their theory, not with a lot of discussion either.
Yeah, I wanted to. I had left a message for Vibes of Cosmos, and I asked him, "Hey, man, could I share your hour-long presentation?" And he said,
Yeah.
"Sure." You know, I wanted to ask first, and he said, "No problem," but I haven't done that yet because people don't want to. You know, most people can't sit an hour and 40 minutes, or I forgot how long it is, but me, I watched the whole thing twice, so just to make sure I didn't miss out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating.
I like how they map that out, and then they use the flight paths, and it makes sense that Lemuria, I mean, because with the globe in between Cali to Asia is that big body of water in the Pacific, and I'm like, there's no land there, but there's land everywhere else. I used to always look at that as a child and be like, son ain't right. Peace or drop. So, and then, you know, with the information in the palm of the hand now, I find all types of old maps. I mean, I spend hours sometimes going from website to website to website when I would Google old maps in the 15th century, 14th century. I change it up and I'll change the wording because different stuff will come up if you just change the wording around. And yeah, I find websites with thousands of maps. I had to like bookmark them. I didn't even get close to finishing, but you find them with Lemuria and Atlantis. I think this whole place was Atlantis. If you look at the Atlantis pictures, it looks just like this whole place in a flat Earth perspective with the walls and the land. You know, I wonder what this place would look like if they drain these oceans out. We're basically living on top of mountains or whatever. If you drain that ocean out, and I don't think it's as deep everywhere as they say. I'm always curious of what's under that ocean, like, and that's why I showed that picture of that tin can. Like, what dumb billionaire would get in a tin can, right? That's why I showed the picture. Like, Tim Truth, I found him through Bro Sanchez back in the day, and I was like, let me go to Odyssey, man, and see what's up with Tim Truth. First video I seen was about that damn tin can, and I put the picture of that and King Solomon's weapon that he got from the King of Demons, and it looked just like that tin can, but it was like a worm looking. thing, and he got it after he built the temple of in Jerusalem of peace. It was a gift from the king of demons. And that thing could cut diamond, it could cut through diamond, anything. If it could cut through diamond, it could cut through anything. Did you
Cool.
see that drop? What I posted in my about the tin can that them billionaires went in, and the symbology that could be behind it. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but
I'm sure I saw it. That's with the old worm-like
yeah,
beast.
yeah, Tim Truth. I put the original video link. I think I put it in the comments because I got to give him credit. I'm not just like I thought of this because it ain't true. I didn't think of it. I got it from Tim Truth, So, but I had to share it, and I put the link to the original video so you can go to Odyssey and check it out. That's one thing I don't do, man. It's like I can't take somebody's shit and be like, I thought of it, and when I didn't, I just don't feel right to myself. So that's the only person I'll be fooling is me. Peace, Kimba. Carbonado can cut diamond. They are produced when lightning strikes. Sand. What about in the desert? That green material that they said was pieces of the firmament. It was made out of like 80%, I think, oxygen or some shit. I could be misquoting that, but I remember seeing a video on it. You can only find it in the desert. And then they have those stones in the desert that supposedly roll on their own or walk away or walk or whatever. That could be because of the ley lines. I was thinking if stones they hold a electrical charge, and then with the ley lines being electromagnetic, also stones probably hold metals in it too. So that's probably how it moves. I think about this place a lot. Like, what did it look like before these evil people? Whoever was ruling this place when the war broke out, whoever killed like that king or the guy they put in charge, those people must have been like, oh, the good days are over. They just killed the king. Someone made a joke about that. Damn, I forgot. Someone was making a joke about them going to see the ship that sunk, and I forgot how it went, but it going to see a graveyard under the ocean, like. Why would someone want to do that? Like, seriously, why would you want to go risk your life to go look at a graveyard under the water at that.
Charles? Muted.
I know.
Okay.
I don't know what else is going on in the news. I don't even watch the news.
I don't watch it either.
Not how many people talked about yeah, that could be true, Paul. I thought of that too. Somewhere along the line, I heard that they were. I think Drop said it. I don't know. I could be mistaken. That they were the creators of some toxins or something. Um, yeah, it's just another distraction. I think most of these stories they make up. Just something to keep the sheep from asking questions, keep them occupied. They even got people calling, I think about it all the time when people say kids. And they even got us calling our children kids, baby sheep.
I know.
Like, we're
I know.
fucked.
I know. There's probably so many languages on the planet where that would just be like a blasphemous, right? Like literally, whether you're faithful, not even in the religious sense, just linguistically blasphemous to refer to your children as animals, let alone animals that you would eat.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sheep? Yeah. No, that's lamb. Lamb chops. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who eats sheep?
Although it's funny that I say that because my mom used to call us her little chickadees,
Yeah, I've
and
heard
on
that.
that same logic, my lovey lambs, she used to call us her lovey lambs, my little lovey
I've heard
lambs.
that. The chickadees one. But that's
And I like chickadees.
just the whole concept of people being sheep. It just or goyim. They call us goyim when they're the fucking goyim. It's crazy how they call us goyim bottom feeders, right? But they love hiding underground, and they feed off of us. But we're the bottom feeders, right? They feed off of our hard work and steal our tax money. But we're the bottom feeders. They're like leeches, parasites. They're the true goyim. All these underground bases, you think people would want to know what's under there. You know, people would start asking questions, what's going on. I'm pretty sure they're heavily guarded, and I'm pretty sure they got an army of idiots who would back them because they would lose all their material garbage, like their Lexus, their house that they could tell Lexus, what is it, Alexa, flush my toilet, you know, all that technology, are lazy to do it themselves. Alexa, wipe my ass. But I always think that too, like, how could these people back such scum? Like, who would want to protect such scum? It's crazy, it blows my mind. They must get paid really good. It's always about money, money, money. A baron? That's how you say that word? A baron?
Bairn.
Baron?
That's how I would read it, like a cairn, like a bairn.
I thought it said baron, but I don't know.
They might say something more like Bayern, like with the AY with a Scottish accent, like Bay. Can't do a Scottish. Now I sound like Russell Brand. I don't know anything about those kind of subtleties and nuances of the UK accents. Bairn. Not no says I got it right the first time. Bairn. So technically having a bairn womb is a good thing. Not barren. Not barren, but bairn. I got me a bairn womb. A bairn in my womb. I was thinking about the way they've made it seem like, you know, like seeds on a tree would age poorly in a woman. You know, like it doesn't, like your eggs don't update with your experiences, so that even if you're have fewer and fewer over time, I would think that your eggs would only become that much more like life-giving on so many depths. Just like they minimize the idea of a man's life force to something he can just like throw away, you know, like on the regular, instead of like cherishing it and still say learning to ejaculate orgasm without ejaculation. So my point I'm getting to is, like, they don't really talk about the fact that science has sort of minimized our life-giving forces to like happenstance and just like kind of like snot, kind of like something's just biological in you, instead of understanding that, like, what if you had a kind of an obligation, right, like to your descendants. And I don't mean, like, I don't know how to put it, but I'm not really meaning it in a sequential way, so that we're like, we save land, you know, we do all these things, we're trying to take care of the world for our babies, but like, I didn't have kids, right? So I'm not saying that I'm not supposed to care about, like, you know, other people's kids or the continuation of the race simply because I don't, but it's more about understanding, like, who do you carry in you, right? Like who is not coming here right now because of what you're not doing? Like, you know, like, who are the people that who are the people that we carry with us? You know, like, who can we create? I'm sure it's not random. You know?
I didn't know Madonna died. Red Squid just hit. So Madonna dead at 64. 4 times 6 is 24. In reverse order would be 42. And 42 is this number of sacrifice in the gematria calculator. That went over everyone's head. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that align with 64.
Is it for real?
I don't know. I'm gonna check right now. We'll find out right now. Madonna dead.
Oh my gosh, get
Is
ready for the
Madonna dead?
narcissist.
Twitter erupts after the singer was found unresponsive and postponed celebration tour. Madonna's family feared they may lose her after singer was rushed to ICU. ICU, dead in the bed. Madonna dead, 2023, singer killed by celebrity death hoax. Let's see, anything else? She is 64, but it doesn't say for sure. In April, Seymour Stein, the record exec who signed Madonna, died at 80. I don't know. We'll find out. Madonna biopic dead at Universal. No, Madonna is not dead, but people think she is for some reason. Well, yeah, she was unresponsive. She does a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I don't know if she does. I don't know her personally, but
I'm sure you have to take a lot of anti-rejection drugs when you look like that, at bare minimum.
Yeah,
And,
well, I don't know. I'm not the best looking person on earth, but I wouldn't go get no plastic surgery. You know, people, that's their decision. I'm not downing people who do, but people do a lot of things to their body. That's one thing you're promised when you're born is death. And when you die, that's you being birthed. When you're born in the flesh, your spirit's dead. And when you die in the flesh, your spirit's born. If I die and I see all these people waiting to come here in the flesh, I'm like, you ain't want to go to that shithole. There's nothing beautiful left there but starving children, a bunch of chaos. I'm going to explain to people, do you want to slave your entire flesh life to think you're going to own a house you'll never own? That's basically what everyone's doing. Realist McCoy came out with a video. I gotta check it out. Wonder what's up with Lucid, man. I tried to call him. His phone's off. He said he's going for the operation soon. Next week. If you're listening, Lucid, hit me up. I want to be able to say different too. I'm hoping enough people will wake up and realize we outnumber these cheese balls. They're worse than meatballs. They're expired cheese balls. And that video is disturbing, the one I got. Let me see. I'm gonna finish editing it just to show it right now while people, the few people that are here will get a sneak peek. That's how bad I want to show it.
Cool. Well, friends, sorry, I'm waiting on. I think Chuck's going to show us a video.
Yeah, I'm here. I was trying to decide if I should put the sound. I'll just put the sound on this one. But I was gonna take the sound out and put my voice talking, but I'll just put the regular sound. Because I am taking it from someone else, but I don't want to completely take their shit and use their voice. But I will just for this presentation, I guess. Just so you can hear the sound of the thing. It's only 25 seconds. Maybe I could show the real video. I don't know if I would get, whatchamacallit. What the fuck? I don't want to get, well, actually, he probably can't, copyright it. Because he said, I seen on there, he said the rightful owner, he didn't even know it, so, let me see if I can just pull that video up.
You're hotspotting again?
No.
No.
Nah, I pull the video up. I don't necessarily on this. It has to be a certain amount to share. But yeah, this video is short. It's from what's his name? I forgot what channel it's called. Oh, here we go.
Pay attention, check this out. Now I'm going to show you guys zoomed in. Check this out over here. What the heck is going on here?
Wow.
Talk about direct energy weapons.
Or a huge teleportation.
I don't know. I think they're practicing for their fake alien invasion. I'm gonna have to knock out some synthetic aliens. Something they grew in the lab. They have no soul.
Pay attention, check this out. Now I'm going to show you guys zoomed in. Check this out over here. What the heck is going on here? Pay attention, check this out.
Did you notice how at the beginning of the video all the lights in the city were on, and then that happened and then it caused a blackout, but only that big building's lights came back on?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too. That could be a EMF. You know, they have them bombs, some EMF bombs that knock out electricity and stuff. Yeah, let's watch that again. Hold on. I thought
Pay attention, check this out.
all electricity came on.
Now I'm going to show you guys zoomed in. Check this out over here. What the heck is going on here?
Wow. Yeah, it didn't knock out the whole city, but that area. And the emergency lights came on.
Yeah, pretty good emergency lights.
Marcel, peace. It's good to see you here. Yeah, Realist McCoy. You should make videos, bro. I know you have a lot of positive and enthusiastic stuff to talk about. Like, we got to get these people vibrating higher, man. With a fucking pep in their step. I know, like, I say I give up on that shit, but I can't fight back by myself. That's the people's, you know, I'm not Superman 1. There's no Superman that exists. I just use that as a statement, but, you know, only an idiot would try to fight these people alone. You know, I know people don't want to go to war, so I would have to say law is the only other way. And there's already people standing up to the tyranny with the police. I haven't seen so much tyranny in my life with these police. They're spreading like a cancer. It's like, where do they find these people? They hire anybody. You don't even have to have a good IQ to be a cop. They just hire anyone because they think they want to have the numbers, you know. So they'll hire anybody, fucking doink. They can't even run a mile. They're out of shape. They'll hire them just to have another uniform and a badge on the street. They don't care. Most of these people don't even know the laws. They don't know the Constitution. They don't know what the hell they took an oath to. They just want the job. Like, I see so much utmost disrespect. Like, who seen the one with the officer? A lady. She was a lady officer. Arrived on the scene. The woman is chasing the guy out of the house with a knife. So she takes the guy down and not the woman with the weapon. Because she thought that the lady was chasing the guy, that she was like, oh, I assessed the situation as I arrived. I seen a lady chasing the guy, and I thought the guy was beating her ass. So I took him down instead of the lady with the weapon, right? And she ends up losing her job and gets sued. But the guy took her gun and started shooting it the other way to scare her off. But he won that case because she attacked him. And by law, she had no right to put her hands on him. He wasn't the aggressor. He did get charged with letting off a weapon. I forgot what that's called, but that's it. Other than that, and the cop shot him too. But yeah, that's poor judgment. That's insane. A lot of these officers make laws up, like they just come out of left field with a lot of shit, man. And they say you can't film in public, right? Which they'll cry about that. But they won't cry about the millions of cameras that are put up in the streets. But they'll cry about you filming them, but not the government. It's crazy, man. These people have lost their mind. Their noodles are fried.
Yeah, they're crazy for sure.
Hey, Marcel.
Hey, hey, Charles.
What's up, Marcel?
I missed the first hour and a half, I think.
And it was not spectacular. I just showed some pictures of Vibes of Cosmos. I know those are his pictures. I found them on Pinterest or whatever you call that website, and I was looking for more flat Earth stuff that I want to add to it, like perspective and some good pictures. Because I'm gonna make like an hour and a half long video on finding all the cosmology from all over the realm. I'm using that to show that the only people that don't think the world is level is NASA. Everyone else in this mother grabber knew that we weren't on. They put us on the outside of the cosmic egg when we were always inside of the cosmic egg. From the Vedics to the Germanic tribes, to the Native Americans, to the Mayans, to you name it, everyone but NASA.
It's funny, as long as you got money and you can cheat, you can basically rule the world, right?
Yep.
Well, rule the world. They think they rule the world. Call it that.
They only rule the world because we let them. That's and I gotta say that because we let it happen. Like, we outnumber these people. Money don't matter, but somehow it became to matter. We let them take over our food. We let them take over the land.
Well, it's not only that, but the people that are just doing their job, people like you and me, they go along with this shit,
Yeah,
those are the problem. Those people are the problem.
The tyrants.
Yeah, they are the ones in a position that they can change something, but they don't.
Like, I used to think the Constitution, you can't go from a society that's like, if one day they just decided to end the Constitution, all the people that cried about it would be crying more because it'd be complete mayhem. You're going from a society that's always been controlled for the last century or so by rules, and then you're just going to take it all away. I used to be like that, and then I started looking into the Constitution. If you look into it, it's not the Constitution, it's the motherfuckers put in place that's ruining it.
Yeah.
The people that are in power are the ones that have made it. Instead of hating the Constitution, hate the people that's committing the evil around the world, and it's mostly our government.
No, they're not upholding the Constitution anymore. They just do whoever offers the most money, and that's what they'll do that year. You know, it's insane.
You know, if the Constitution was upheld and these laws, you know, the prison system, I think there's a lot of innocent people in prison, and
Yeah.
there's people that need to be in prison a lot longer than they were. Like it's all.
Yeah. Those people that are in power, they need to be there. You know.
Yeah. Like they'll put a guy in prison for, but hold on, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. True. No, I agree with you. I give no authorization at all to those bastards. Nothing.
Yeah, I think these constitutions were written to protect people from the very people
This
that.
person's calling me. Ain't even saying nothing. Anyway, I don't even remember where I was at. It's the second time the same person's interrupted me. What was I talking about?
Charles, your mic was muted.
Yeah, those people need to be in jail.
Yeah, it's the same everywhere. You know.
I can't hear myself. Hold on. What's going on here?
Oh.
I'm sorry if it looked like I interrupted you, Charles. Your mic was on mute for a long time.
No, I was on the phone. I got interrupted again with a phone
Oh,
call.
I see. Okay, good. I'm like, phew.
Bam, phone.
Yeah, we were talking about the Constitution and the criminals pretending to uphold it.
Mm-hmm. I like the picture. Like how Sun, Lucifer, and Helios, masculine, astral. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we had some rain today.
Acid rain? We had rain yesterday a lot.
I hope not.
I always wonder that when it's raining. I'm like, what's in this water?
Yeah, well, my head is still on my head, so it isn't that bad, you know.
No, not acid rain like that, but that's what my mom's boyfriend used to call it back in the days, acid rain. I don't know why, but
Yeah, but if you look back to the past, uh, where they where the, with all the things they tried to scare us, you know. First, you had the greenhouses, all the hunger in Africa, uh, AIDS, pollution of the factories, all those disasters and the so-called wars that they made themselves. You know, it's all manufactured. It's all a scheme, you know. And there's still hunger in Africa. What the heck, you know? They could have fed the whole world
um,
60,000 times in that time, you know?
now I know what I was saying. I was saying, yeah, they do need to be put in jail. They'll put a guy in jail for stealing clothes because he's homeless and shit. And I get it, yeah, you're breaking the law, but they don't put him in jail for when they administer these VAXs, right? Um, hold on one second.
Did you swim, Becky, yesterday? How was the
No,
temperature?
but I will on my way back today.
Okay,
I'm off to put a battery in my motorhome and move it.
cool.
I keep taking people up there to help me because I do need some help with the brakes. But because I need help with the brakes, I keep I'm stalling on stuff I can do. And the guy wants me to move the motorhome, so I didn't buy this thing to not be able to move it. Like, trust that the cable they painted red is positive. You know, that's why they painted it red, not to fuck me up, right? The last guy was there. He's like, "Oh, we need to test this and test that." I'm like, "No, we just need to slap a battery in it and move it, not to be a bitch or anything." I'm like, I am tired, and but it's okay. It's typical of independent me. Pardon me,
You already
Marsha?
have someone that wants to buy it?
No, but I can't very well necessarily sell it without them even be able to turn it on. Like, bring your own battery, BYOB, you know? So I don't think that's what that means. But yeah, I'm just going to go buy a deep cycle. I'll need a couple eventually. So I'm just going to buy one today and slap her in and move it. You know, it may be heavy. It may be whatever, 10,000 pounds, but it's, if you're just moving it, inch by inch, like you can even use the emergency brake,
Mm-hmm.
just go super slow. Mm-hmm. Might take me an hour,
Well, the older I get, that's the way to go in life, in my opinion, as slow as you can. Observing everything around you. Working as slow, but yeah, just staying busy.
I took the next 2 days off again. Rah, rah. Well, like, I had a week off 2 weeks ago, and then I worked last week, but just about killed me. And so I took this week off again, and I'm going to do an hour or two's work, just sending out some information to people. I should have done it weeks ago for my boss, but I didn't. So anyways, I'm going to find some people for her to hire.
Yeah.
But talk about the appearance.
You could hire me.
For sure.
I like having 1,000 ways to get money. Money's never enough.
wouldn't it be cool if we had teleportation devices and you could be like working somewhere and people be like, where do you live? And you could live like in Lemuria. I work in Colorado, but I live in Lemuria. See, those people probably do, the Lemurians.
I'm about to save up like $2,000 and buy me a piece of land in the middle of the desert and turn it into farmland. People be like, that can't be done. Well, I've seen videos of this guy. He did it in Arizona. He turned the desert.
Yeah.
He put topsoil down, and he has the plants love it, thriving.
With twills. Just an undeep pond, basically. Make all kinds of undeep ponds, and when it's rain, it collects all the water in those shallow areas, and it will create grass, and all other plants will come back in no time. You know, that's how you can change the desert back into fertile land. It's very simple. But yeah, that stuff they don't teach us, right?
Hell no.
Yeah, I agree. When I got the option to buy a plot of land and become I will do it without thinking twice.
They took away the squatters' rights.
The what?
Well, in Canada, right up into the 70s in North America, and I mean no disrespect to the First Nations people here, but I also saw it reflected in movies in Europe, that I'm sure that's why people were squatting in those buildings, because they could, as much as people didn't want them to. There were squatters' rights, and there was even the point that if you squatted on a piece of land long enough, there were laws such that if you could prove that you'd been there that long, you own that land, or at least they can't kick you off of it. So
yeah, well, that would be a good rule, because then all governments will be fired because they don't take care of the land. You know.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing. Implement that shit back again.
Well, I don't know. It's crazy how the government, now they bought up everything. If you look how they monopolized us to own all the land. The only thing you can own is the house the land's on. And even if you buy a piece of land and build the house, all you got to do is
let them show the proof that land is theirs. They can't. They stole it. They stole all the land.
I was watching a video where this guy said that white people stole everything that they got. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, man, that people think that. And I hope they mean just the white people in power. But it's not just the white people. It's people in power are not just white people. People don't get that, man. All this shit's created to divide us up.
Exactly, Charles.
It has nothing to do with color. You got bad people in every branch, you know. Sadly.
They say, like, they need to realize, like Drop mentioned it in the last video, that it's always one of our own so-called people that sell out, because that's how they infiltrate. It's always somebody that'll sell out for a large amount of money for something.
Yeah, they're all weak individuals, you know. You sell your soul for some money. Come on.
But that's why I don't follow religion, because it says God gave us this land, right?
Yeah.
Well, how was that when they took it all? And now we got to break our backs to even get a little piece of land to live on and rent little fucking closet space apartments where we don't even have land. And I know in Connecticut, taxes are through the roof. I'll take you to the neighborhood, how you'll see where I live. Ghetto. But if you go down the street, there's $200,000 homes for $1 million.
Mm. Yeah, but God didn't take the land. There are people who took his land in his name, you know?
No, I know God didn't. But the Creator, this land was made for all of us to thrive off of.
Exactly.
And I don't even, that whole Bible story, I've said a million times, is so you accept their slavery. That's all of it. I think the God in that Bible is whoever's on the throne running this world.
What do you guys think about this little thing I've been hearing a bunch of crap about Nasera Jacera or Naugahyde laws?
What's that?
It's like old form of law and governance. I'm not sure. They called it like Nasera Jacera or something like Noah's law, Naugahyde law or something.
In wrong way.
Yeah, I think it's true, but I think they are trying to use it for the evil things again. But that law could be okay, but as always, the wrong people in power will always steer it towards their goals and not to what it's uh, supposed to do. You know?
Want some mushrooms?
I don't know. Can you eat those ones?
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't eat that.
They sprout up. And you know they're spraying, I've seen them spray toxins on this lawn. So these would not be safe to eat. They smell good, like mushrooms. But yeah, I wouldn't eat them either. Because just because they're growing on the lawn, they spray with pesticides, I wouldn't eat them. Because you know there's tons of that in them. And that's another thing, man. Like, they put us in jail for the lowest crimes. You know, they belong in jail. You're right about that, Marcel. I hope before it's my time to exit this shit nugget, I could watch a lot of these people either perish or get put in prison. Perfect.
You got a lot of people that don't pay taxes anymore. I see that a lot coming by on the internet, and you're not you don't have to if you don't want to, you know, but you have to know what to say and what to write back and all that. And that's basically the problem. Most people don't know what to do when they get a letter from IRA, you know, or whatever.
Well, I've been not to kind of butt in, but I've been hearing a lot about that Naugahyde law and Nasera Jacera, and I think they're about to call a lockdown, and they're about to call that because I mean it's just too blatantly obvious. Everything is just whack retarded.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with.
I just want to get a couple quick words on what he was saying because I wholeheartedly agree. But I'm gonna step down. I got cooking to do.
Yeah, I heard today that my paycheck will increase, and that will fit into what Michigan Gander was saying that everybody will get more income to what they were talking about, the basic income system, and well, whatever that will bring forth, at least people will have the financial means to do what they want to do, you know. And that's basically what everybody deserves, you know, to get their basic needs see. Yeah. And now I see all around me here in the Netherlands, for instance, I see a lot of people that cannot even fill their basic needs. You know what they get or earn. It's insane, and they call they still say Holland is still one of the wealthiest nations in the world. Well, that might be true, but they treat their people like crap. You know, and that's not only in the Netherlands; it's everywhere. You know, it's. Oh, you want a better world. You want everybody to have the same options and all that. Oh, well, why are the rich still getting richer and the poor still getting fucking poor? You know, doesn't make any sense. You know, those are people of pure evil. They are doing this on purpose, and that's why something has to change, and it will. Like Michigander says, there will come. Some things will happen. I'm sure.
Why is this bee got? It's a queen bee with a bee on its back.
He wants a free ride.
Yeah, but yeah, I never seen nothing like that. Look at this shit. It's a bee chilling like in the piggyback. It's filled with too. Should I try to ding it off? He's choking him out. He got him in the headlock.
Maybe they're mating. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. Now it's upside down. Gotta save the bees. There ain't many left. I ain't messing with that bee, but it stings me. I never seen nothing like that. Whatever that bee is getting a piggyback ride. Oh shit.
On my way to the greenhouse, I saw that they mowed the lawns everywhere again. Very, very, so very, very little grass was left, while it is still very hot. So the ground was still like dried up, and the grass was like burned already, but they still went and cut it even further. Those people
That don't
don't
make
have
sense.
any brain capacity, you know. There's nothing in there.
Yeah, the grass here looks burnt out and dried out. I don't get why. It just poured 2 days. It's probably chemicals in the rain. It's killing the grass and the trees.
Was Michigander coming back? Because I thought he was going to say something about the Nasara Gazara. Did I get that wrong?
I'm back.
Hey. Did I get that wrong? That I thought Michigander was going to say something about Nasara Gazara, or did he leave?
I don't know. He might be have choppy reception where he is.
Who, me? Oh,
I know
Michigander?
Michigander, yeah.
I thought I was muted. That car is making weird. Hear that shit? Something ain't right with their car. I wonder what the hell is going on with that bucket. That thing's screaming. It sounds like pressure coming. Oh, no, it ain't making that noise in the gas.
Engine problems?
I don't know.
You know, I've been thinking about the prefix "re" on a lot of things. You know, like cancer research. Like, wouldn't it just be a search if you had a problem? Like, what are you researching? You know, like, what do you already know? What do you already know? That's why they can keep doing research.
Because
Call
you're
it research.
researching.
Yeah,
You're
because you're
looking at
just
gas
research. Yeah,
to make sure you didn't miss something.
I know. You look up what what all these hadron colliders, what they claim they do. It's hilarious that we ever bought it in the first place. Once you find out there's 30,000 of them, you know, they're like, oh well, you know, at CERN they're just like, you know, colliding these, like, you know, just trying to. We're just keep watching these fucking things collide, right? Like what are you doing? What are you really doing? Every day you gotta, you know, oh well, just once a year we wired it. Like, I don't know what the deal is, but how many people know? Everyone's like. Even I know an astrophysicist who works for NASA. Even I know a fucking rocket scientist. What I don't know is somebody who's a CERN engineer, you know?
Oh, fucking liars.
Like,
You got to see evidence, though, like, to prove a lot of shit. Hold on, let me get off of these headphones. So,
Like, I want to see hardcore evidence. Everyone has their opinions on what these colliders are doing, but yeah, there's really no evidence presented. Like, when I say water levels out, I could prove that in many levels. I could use a cup, a tub. You could even go to a lake and throw rocks. The only time water curves is when it's manipulated, not curved. It gets wavy. Other than that, you can prove water levels out, and it has to be contained in order to find its level and be contained in the area. So we could prove we're not on the ball and all this stuff, but as far as the CERN collider, nobody knows what they're really truly doing and what it's really for. We can have theories and speculate, but until we have hardcore evidence, it's all speculation to me.
mm-hmm.
I don't even believe colliding this and that. they always make something up to tell the people what they want to hear, like something where people won't worry about what they're doing or question further. Oh, they're just colliding stuff. It's no biggie. But maybe Phil's onto something. The stuff that he says. I didn't know there's that many of them. I want to see where they all are. I want to see some proof of where all these colliders are. In that picture I showed of that underground base, you seen how big them walls were. A fucking Titan could walk under there. You know, that's probably where these giants are hiding underground. Like, just imagine what's under these ground we walk on. Like, cities the size of Manhattan under there. Holy shit! I want to see that. I believe that part. What the guy's saying. Aliens. Maybe they did make something genetically in the lab. Who knows? Maybe they can grow humans like mushrooms. You know, maybe they could take people's DNA and like grow some soulless sack of flesh. Who knows? Because I did present them pictures, and it said in 1 hour they could grow 12 months of what it takes to grow in a womb in 1 hour. It said that in 1895 with the incubator. Now, who knows if that's a movie or if that's real?
What they might have been doing too at that time was taking the genetic information at the fair of the people there to utilize for themselves, and then swapping it out with an orphan baby that they'd stolen or taken from some war land, you know, like to repopulate with.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I waver on their ability. But it's kind of starting to look like that we're kind of that biology itself is some sort of some sort of really high level hologram, perhaps life-based hologram, you know, like that we're crystals and that we're fluid, and you know. So on the flip side, it's kind of, one can believe. I do feel like I believe that they can do all the things that we think that can be done, you know. So, but it's like you say, you know, like unless you can verify it with your own eyes, right? Like,
Yeah.
like the more I see AI photos, the more it looks like some of the history books that we look through are also AI photos.
Yeah,
you know, especially when you really look at some of the pictures, black and white pictures, you get these people that are all in different tones, right? Like, but not, I don't mean like their skin tones are different. I mean like, it's like those transfers you used to be able to color on with a pencil and transfer them onto a magazine that was already there or whatever. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it looks like there's two sets of people superimposed, two pictures superimposed on one another, which we already know they can do. But, you know, sometimes some people are sort of translucent and some people are not, and some people are bigger in perspective than they should be.
Yeah, well, everything is possible basically now with the information that's now what they can do with technology and all that, you know. Basically, our whole history can be fake, which would be logical. It would explain a lot why nothing adds up. Still there?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
I still think the hadron, those colliders are more likely a cover up for like a huge for a huge aspect of the tunnel system that creates energy out into the ether, via the antennas on the storage capacitors. And I think that those things actually transmit energy and receive them in places where the trains don't go out often enough to maybe keep a charge going.
Yeah.
But that's what I saw in that Vibes of Cosmos picture we were looking at this morning. It said electric dome. So I wonder if the bigger realm, okay, like if we cover up sort of, and it's all sort of circular, I think that's probably more based on the lights, but still the bigger realm might have other regions, right, with their own sun system. And so maybe that outer sun is the reflection of their sun on our outside of our dome, you know, because the bigger Earth is also habitated, habitable, and I think presumed habitated, if that's a word,
Yeah, a
by the
dome,
model.
dome on a dome on a dome on a dome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an electric universe, like it shows here in my
Yeah, exactly.
avatar.
Yeah.
The stars even prove it.
Well, yeah, and if the sun's a star, then those stars out there prove how big the realm is, perhaps being all reflected. Like you could go into other, you know, even move to the very far right on that picture and take a picture of the moon and see that the moon looks different from there, and you're mapping the realm out further. You know, just doesn't matter where you pick as your center, but I'll bet you if he went there and got pictures of the moon from there, he'd see lands that don't exist from here, right? And so on and so on. And they told two friends, and they told two friends, and they told two friends.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and on and on, and overlapping circles, you know, right back down to the circles on our planet, along the ley lines, you know, it's all related, interconnected, like
Yeah, you know the story of someone whispering in something in someone's ear in a circle, and that one is whispering in someone else's ear. You get a complete different story, three persons away, you know?
mhm.
That can also be the case.
Mm-hmm.
I started building my magnet, microwave magnet, make and generate some electricity. I'm hoping.
Magnetron or something?
Free energy with a magnet and copper. Just trying something now. We'll see.
Cool. I don't know anything about that, but I have seen on some other channels people make it look not, I wouldn't say easy, but they make it look accessible, you know, and easy enough if you're willing to put in the work.
What the churches were. They gave off electromagnetic energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can put light bulbs near it and they'll light up. That's the type of energy they had, like Tesla coils, magnetrons. but I don't think it was like the microwave, which would kill you if you leave them open. And I think they've added components in there to heat up your food. But
Yeah, and they changed the frequencies, you know, of
yeah,
the stuff going through there, and it was healing, but now it's disrupting people's systems, you know. Yeah, but who doesn't want free energy, right? That's what they're afraid of, that people will find out that you can create your own energy, so you don't have to pay for electricity anymore because you generate it yourself. And all those stupid solar panels and windmills, total scam, whatever you want to call it, total bullshit.
yep.
I found my first cucumber today outside,
Nice.
growing outside. I didn't take it with me, but I'm gonna leave it a few days. But it's already edible size.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's rewarding.
Yeah.
That's success.
We'll get a lot of tomatoes this year.
Yeah, that idea of traveling by the stars in an infinite realm sounds fast, just like, it's worth having hope for. It's worth believing in. That's what I find in something like Vibes of Cosmos model. It's got hope in it.
Yeah.
In addition to a lot of mapped out logic. So, and since they love to tell us that, to hide the truth in the not truth, in what they sell as a fact, to be the opposite, like the truth tends to often be, literally the opposite. That's why it's easy to, that's what I like about the minds in this group. There's no real judgment on questioning that, unless it becomes personal and people call each other names. Which is just us being immature, which is we can all be, and maybe it's immature to some people to have an imagination, to people out there not doing this.
Yeah, some people will say that, and that will probably be the people with a master's degree, because they think they're their masters because they have a diploma in their pocket, Come on. You're just a well-behaved slave, Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. But yeah, I always tend to go with the logical sides. I'm learning every day. Yeah, that I have to agree with Bax on that. I always go with what is logical. If it sounds logical, if I can understand it, it has to make sense, because how else can you believe something if it isn't even logical? You know, I think everything that is not logical is basically not true in my view. You know, you have to understand something to. Yeah, I don't understand some shit at school as well. You know, yeah, you have to learn this, and then I would ask why. What's that? You would never get an answer on that. You know. If things isn't logical or it doesn't make sense or you don't get an explanation from the people that's supposed to know it, at the teachers or some other people, then it's probably lies. You know, in my view. What's your view on that?
Yes, I agree that it's disproving science, and their logic involves using science and logic. And that's where they get us they get us, you get caught in a conundrum, you know, of semantics.
Yeah.
But I don't, most free thinkers, you know, you get to a point, if you weren't already there, but you get to a point where where you understand that the higher level of education people have, the more indoctrinated they are, you know, and some people can push through their indoctrination, you know, and become a very valuable asset to people who didn't go in and become indoctrinated. But anyone can go and learn what the indoctrinated people learn, right? So, and that's always been the case, even before we knew that they were like indoctrinated with a belief system, you know, where you actually don't realize it, but you're participating in a hierarchical system of knowledge, passing on of knowledge, like from bachelor to master's to doctorate. A doctorate in philosophy is a PhD, so you're a philosophizer, you know, you're the expert. You know, it's all more of that oath-taking system that they don't even realize. Even the Lord's Prayer is an oath. You know, like,
Yeah, they didn't become a doctor. They became an indoctorate.
even government, you know, they admit it. They're ministers, the ministries, and the administers. You know, like, so administration, admonish, adhere, I'm just trying to think of what the prefix ad really means. But yeah, administers, the administration, the minister of finance, the minister of this, like, it's all religion.
Yeah.
It's right there in plain sight. I was thinking too about basement recently. If there's a world below us, you know, and the idea that we had these basements, because in the 70s people were like putting basements in their homes if they didn't have them, right? Like, so you were literally had your house built on top of something that, you know, often looks like you dug it out, but
Yeah, I miss those basements.
But in the word basement, is that where, like, if we're talking about dumbs, you know, and then we've got these basements, right? And we got people in this realm that own houses that can just like have a door in their basement down to their fucking real world, you know?
Mhm.
And we've eaten Thanksgiving at their dinner table and everything. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm just, going to Mexico for the weekend next weekend or whatever. Meanwhile, they're not telling you about how they're heading off to CERN for the evening for their whatever ritual. I'm just exaggerating, friends.
Yeah, but just the cellar thing, our basement. Basically, it was a refrigerator from the days by.
Even
My grandpa
cellar, like,
had one. We could store stuff there. It's
yeah.
ideal.
Even the word cellar, though, like you'd think it's so you can take your stuff to market later, but what if people always had doors in their underground that, in some generations, you just knew that you had to pay the tax man by leaving potatoes in the cellar.
Wow.
And they came up through the basement, right? And grabbed what they wanted. And all these creepy things that happen in people's basements could be set up from the underground. Fucking.
Yeah, you
crazy.
don't want the boogeyman to come at night, creeping from the basement. Just pay your tax. Pay your tax.
They're probably the ones running out of space down there. I don't actually believe that, but I'm just saying overpopulation. Like I was just trying to imagine how many of them live down there. Like, what if it's like that show where there were seven septuplets or whatever, and they all used to share a life, and everyone had like Monday, one person went out on Monday.
Yeah, it would depend on how many levels they would have there, right?
Some of those 8-armed gods or whatever could in India could represent, people that were what are they called? Quintuplets? No, quartuplets. Quartuplets.
Well, you mean
Anyways,
more
I'm
than
just being silly.
What do you mean?
Oh, I was just saying, like, if it was known, and that's how it's represented metaphysically, that there were 4 people that wore the same face, and they shared a role that was, and that's what made them look like a god,
Yeah. Yeah, everything is possible at this moment, right? You see all the masks they wore, and they probably are wearing them from the beginning,
It's like we are in a brave new world, and we just don't know which ones we are. Are we the decanted, or are we the wild ones?
Yeah.
Have you read that book, Charles?
No.
It's a gooder. It's much like George Orwell's writings, dystopic, future controlled. We've seen movies like it, kind of like Divergent, or there's another sci-fi movie where people are born into their rank, right? They're genetically modified and they're not raised by families, and you're raised by people who aren't your parents. And yet there's a whole world outside of that world where people still breed.
Yeah, that what that army dude said, that it were spaces as big as Manhattan. It made me think of Resident Evil, right?
Yeah.
The big laboratories that they have there with all the science experiments and all that. What if they already created a new species down there that will replace or upgrade us? You know?
Probably already have.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
And like everything, they will not tell us that, you know. That, but it's probably a good, a logical explanation for where all the black budget money is going. You know?
Yeah, they get as much money as they need. They print the money. I think this whole capitalistic society is an illusion, so they can print all the money they need without being questioned.
Mm,
They
yeah.
created the system just for that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think if anything, the way it's designed to sort of look is like you can get a piece of the pie, and they're taking their share to maintain things, when really what they're doing is making sure the majority of people don't get a piece of the pie.
All that being rich and getting by and all that's an illusion, man. Unless you sell out. And even then, people with all that money, they sell out, they're not happy.
No, and I don't want to, I don't want to be in their shoes, because people that have nothing, they still share, you know, stuff. And people that have a lot, they will not even give you a dime, you know.
All right.
Most at least, most. They're just total bastards, those people.
Those people got billions of dollars. That's crazy money. Billions on billions.
Yeah, but for them, it's not about the money; it's for the power, the control they can influence over people that way. Because you still have those nuts that will go for the money and not for you know, what's being good. You know, they sell their soul for some power. They don't want a perfect world where everything's in balance. They like the distortion and all that. They get a kick out of that, to see people suffer. And that would explain why they would be calling them demons, you know, because only demons would do such a thing.
Yeah.
That word suffering, though, you know, we romanticize the past, right? Like, I can say that what my grandmother had for choices in her life, even though she lost her job when she got married, like that was the rules. Her husband got a raise and she got fired. And my stepmother or my grandmother really resented that, obviously. And it really depressed her. She really enjoyed being an operator. And then she had children, and my grandfather was off in whatever camp they put people. North American men often just went out to protect the borders, right? They just were like writing letters home on the edges of their own land. And so my grandmother had a couple kids, just like everyone else did during that time. And, you know, but she was alone and resentful, right? Like, you know, had her own resentments, not being able to work. And They didn't even give women credit cards or bank loans or anything like that until the 70s. And even then they started selling women credit cards when they had no income to back it in their own name. So you'd get your own debt. They roped you into this debt system, right? So I think, suffering is kind of relative, right? And we can romanticize. I can romanticize what my grandmother had, even though she told me and her behavior showed through her life, her own depression, her own isolation, her decisions to get married, and I think that they've had us in their grips for a long time mentally, regardless. And I don't know if my grandmother had the tools or the information, or the ability to access, like we know she didn't have the ability to access people like we are right now. And that's how I did some estate cleanup sales for a family that was a Freemasonic family. And when you see the connections those people made in the 50s, traveling the world and doing their crafts together, the ladies and stuff like that, like there's an obvious sellout. There was obviously ins and out people. And the in people have been masquerading themselves as on the outs people for a long fucking time. So long that their like little Trojan horse system is great. But back to the suffering thing, right? They're sellouts. So like they know they go on to their fucking resorts and hang out with one another and raise their children together and go to the same doctors and, try and tell me to be a better woman or look down on me because I haven't bred, right? Like I'm, because I didn't go to a fertility clinic or whatever, like they probably did, like they did, so I don't know. I think that suffering is kind of relative, like, I look out at the world and I see options, to make my life easier or things I could aspire to have. But the whole system, my whole life has been so fucked up, that even when I have abundance for myself personally, I struggle to access any aspect of that system to give myself use of because I know what they've stolen from us, so,
Same.
sorry about my long-winded rant there. But I also would like to say, like, I suffered for a long time wanting to be a part of my family, right? A long time. And I negate the fact that I have such a huge family and I have a live mom and her husband, who they've been together since my dad and mom separated. Like when I talk about my parents and their Masonic connections, that's my dad and his wife, like I'm really blessed. Like I don't mean to seem like I'm so isolated and alone, but there's so much background and programming in that narrative alone that just having a relationship with my mom has involved a lot of forgiveness dynamics in both directions. It's so complicated in such a big expanding family that doesn't have any respect for communication or growth within it or growing up in any way. Anyways, it was it's been an attack on the family, so yeah,
you could have no family. No brothers, no sisters, all your family could be dead and gone.
I know.
So,
but if
there's
they
a lot
are
of people in this world like that.
But what kind of those people are in an aspect of mingling elbows with people in power, and that's why they don't associate with me, I would assume. I mean, they associate, but only on a superficial level, So it's great to have them, but I
would take down that whole fucking organization. I would infiltrate that whole garbage net.
Sir?
Drop. What's up?
Oh, shit cooling out, man. You can't get mad at them people. Them motherfuckers came together and conquered the world, bro. We gotta come together. We gotta have something to fight against it. We can't get mad because they outsmarted the whole world. All we can say is, damn, that's fucked up. We can say it's fucked up, but man, everybody was playing the same game back then. that organization just so happened to win. You got like it's like 15 organizations. Freemasonry is just one of them. And Freemasonry might be the top, but I don't know.
I doubt
I
it.
don't know. Yeah,
We could
it's a
play the
lot of
same
them.
game they played.
We do play the same game they play. Just the game the team we got is the Bad News Bears, man. We sorry. But
Yeah.
we
Hey,
are playing it. Just think if the people that's fighting against the system took it over, right? Wouldn't that make us the system? Wouldn't we be just like them? People say, no, we were running right. No, once you ever saw a broke person get some money and how they get brand new, you would see
yeah.
how brand new the average peasant would get if they had power of the government. So, like I say, man, I don't knock them. I don't knock them. Um, I'm just not selling my soul. If it wasn't about selling souls, I'd be a Freemason. There's so many perks involved. But once I gotta keep secrets from my wife and I gotta know things my peers don't know, it's not worth it. But
Yeah.
if I could share it and ain't have to sell my soul, oh yeah, I'm a Mason. I get a salary of $5,000 every 2 weeks. Yeah, yeah, I'll do that. But no, I ain't selling my soul for it. Hell no. Cause when you sell your soul, that sell part of your lineage out.
Mm.
But you got it. Not saying I like them and agree with them and what they doing. I'm just saying everybody was on the same race, and then it didn't have nothing to do with color. We was all running a race, and they won.
And this system stays in place because of all the people that go for it. You know, there are
You
a lot
need
of
a system, though. Just think about it.
yeah, a lot of people don't
Name
care.
one
They
thing.
take the money and they will do whatever. You know.
Yeah. Name one thing in the system we don't need. See how long it took to answer it? People are just out of control. We don't need a system for us, the people on the panel and other like-minded people. But we the other 1% of the woke people. You got 1% running the world, 1% to 10% woke, and a bunch of sheeple. If you don't give them no rules to abide by, it's gonna be chaotic and unorganized. It's gonna be like walking in somebody's house that never cleaned it up, plus order and shit. It's
It'll
just
be a
gonna be like,
stampede.
bro, this is right. But like I say, I'm not capping for these motherfuckers or none of that. I'm just saying there's too many sleep people right now to just do away with the police, do away with the fire department. You can burn a whole city down with a can of gasoline if ain't no fire department. These are things in the system. People only want to look at the system for its downfalls. And I ain't caping for the system, fuck the system. But I do know if ain't nothing to put in place, the whole world will crash.
Yeah.
You choking on something, right? All right, not you choking on something. All of a sudden, you fall down and you can't get up. Is you supposed to call your aunt or is you supposed to call the paramedics? People will be like, I don't deal with the hospitals. I don't care. If you got a bacteria infection, tell me what you're gonna eat to get rid of it. Nothing. You need these things, man, and that's how they prey on our weakness because we need it, so they spoon feed it to us. I just wish the system was fair. Everything is fair, and then it'd be a perfect system. But they ain't trying to lose no type of power, man, and that's fucked up to all the nations. You got peasants in every nation, and you got something governing them. Them are the lords of the ring. But it's fucked up to me. But it is what it is, and I'm gonna make it work.
Uh, yeah.
Well, this isn't medical advice by any means, but penicillin is one of their, claims to fame, right? Like, mold, right? And it's one of the ones that say for people who are allergic to it, that was their go-to for a long time, but then they've got these resistance and they've got these other antibiotics, right? But actually, like every time you mold your food, that's your germs or the messy, dirty germs of someone else you've been touching or close to, or someone else's bad hygiene touching your good hygiene. And then you move that onto your food and it molds. But if it's just your own germs getting on that food and you're touching your food and it's molding, more than likely you should probably eat that mold, because likely, just like putting seeds in your mouth before you put them in the garden so they can work with your genetic structure, I would imagine your own personal penicillin is, the bad stuff we cut off the food is probably exactly what we're supposed to eat. Every time it happens, you're probably supposed to keep a piece of cheese. And, but on that same note, they've got their cultures, right? They've got these mold cultures, their blue cheese mold, or, there's, I can't think of others, but, there's also probiotics, right? So you can also use the antibiotic probiotic, they call it, like oregano oil or tea tree oil or things like that, right? But if you were super sick, I remember when I was a kid, they used to have to swab your throat and it would be a few days before you got your medicine, right? Probably because they grew your own penicillin for you, probably because we've been infiltrated, and our healthcare system even was taken over. First, perhaps, but I'm not discrediting the fantastic antibiotics they have out there. They claim they have them to take down the bad strains of things they claim have evolved because of our poor use of their administering of their prescribed antibiotics, so much that people are too scared to even go and ask for antibiotics. Right? It's like, even if you are someone who has diagnoses that involve, like, say, anti-anxiety medication, and you go asking for that, they treat that like drug-seeking behavior. Meanwhile, they're the ones that give you the diagnosis or gave you the medication once or twice in the first place, and yet they'll dole it out to people like crazy on the streets, which is fine. I've come to terms with the fact that if I need to be around people and I need pills to be around them, I'm not going to take them. I'm not going to go be around those people.
What antibiotics is right. All right, cool. They make the disease and they make the host, right? What they do is they cut the host. They actually break the host down into where it's not enough to cure you. So this is how they have the antibiotics for the infections, is because they made the infection. This is why you can't find nothing natural to cure it, because it's a man-made thing. So if you get syphilis or gonorrhea or some type of sexual transmitted disease, there's nothing you can eat to take it away. It's because they made it. So you only can take what they give you to take it away, because they have the host. You know what I mean? Anything natural, you can eat natural things to make it go away. Anything unnatural, that's where medicine come in, and it's a big market. So you trying to go holistic with a man-made disease, and it's not going to work, because nature only cure nature. So once it's foreign, your body's rejecting it, and the only thing the medicine gonna help do is try to push it out. Not the medicine, but the food. It's gonna try to take it through either you spitting, or are you peeing, are you shitting, or are you throwing up? But once it's in your cells, that's when you need their medicine. But go ahead, y'all got it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think there's a cure in nature for everything, but as long as you stick with the pharmaceutical bullshit, yeah, it will only get worse. I'm a living example of that. That medication just about destroyed me.
Well,
Glad I got rid of all that shit.
but I think thinking that man can outsmart this system, right? Even if it does take people out, right? Even if man doctors something and we call that the man-made illness, we call, I do believe man's made all illnesses. But to what avail? Like, to unlock what in the end? If we're defeated by their illnesses, then we're saying they can outsmart our prime directive, right? As a species, right? Then they can hack it and master it, and we can't. And that we wouldn't have the solutions to hacking and mastering that at our fingertips around us, right? Simply because they were in a lab when they made it. You know, I don't know. Like, I have more faith in my blood, my code, the thinking that I do, the people that I mix with, the information that we gather to do whatever it is that we're doing. You know what I mean? I think it is a form of resistance against that. I wouldn't, I'm not claiming that it's the solution, but I do believe more in our own individual right to exist, independent of anything they do or anything that was done for us to be here, or anybody we think we're doing it for after us, So.
And you absolutely right, because if they could outsmart it, we are all been dead. So what keep happening is the body keep mutating to whatever they trying to do. The food they feed us, our body mutate to it. The air we breathe in or whatever, it mutates to it. So now they're like, okay, we're gonna try to have your body mutate to, so now we can eat lab grown meat, or they done trained our body to be able to eat it. But if they think they can conquer Mother Nature nor human existence or any life existence, it's impossible. That's why it's a creator. The creator will take them off the face of the earth before it let that happen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like the creator. You ever stiff armed a little kid and they keep swinging, but you just hold their forehead and you just hold them back, but they keep trying to hit you in the body, but their arms is too short. That's what the creator is. No matter what they do, they just gonna catch wind. But you gotta.
So red.
Yeah, I agree with Sir. I think nothing can mislead nature, or God, or whatever you want to call it. It's they can try, and a lot of people will fall for it, but they will have the shorter straw in the end.
So indirectly, is nature using man? Is nature using man to get stronger?
Probably.
And I think they got I think the key to it all, to end all division, if races start mixing. It's a reason they don't want that. Because if everything is everything, then everything. There's no more division. So they need Chinese people to stay Chinese. They need everybody to stay that so they can divide it. Now imagine all of them crossbreeding. Not two races, but every race crossbreeding. They wouldn't be able to keep track, and it wouldn't work. The division wouldn't work.
No, you remind me of
And it's the division is the thing that's holding us back, to me. My bad for the background, Charles.
Well, yeah, they've got all their layers of division, and definitely have something to do with making sure that isolated gene pools stay isolated. That's like one of their main agendas. So that's, or at least better yet, that once isolated gene pools have many different reasons not to breed.
And look at it like this. Say a black person had a baby by a white person. Then that white person had a baby by a Chinese person that was mixed with a Russian. Then that baby had a baby by a Saudi Arabian mixed with a Chinese person. All right. Now you got all these genes spliced in together. Do you know how brilliant that child would be? That last child, that seventh generation child, and a seventh generation group of people. It'll have every attribute, and that's what they don't want. That's how you make a guy. Once you break the puzzle up and don't put the puzzle back together, you will never get the picture. You know what I'm saying? They know what they doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it would be also be important that people really care for each other in a relationship. Really love each other, because you have to turn on the TV or the radio, and it's all about the S word, and never about what a relationship really is about. And that's why a lot of people don't stay together longer than 7 years, because they are all distorted. The core principles are fading away, and I think it's not so much about mixing the people, but more about the essential things. Do people really love each other, or do they go for money or wealth or whatever? And that seems to be the case in a lot of examples that I see around me. It's not really love. It's more about can someone provide for me, or he or she is going for the fame or for the fortune, and the children are at daycare all day long, and they have children, but they don't really care about the children. I think that's the problem. People don't put aside what really matters and go for their job or their whatever.
Hey, but look how they got it set up. If you don't take that route, poverty breaks you up. And if see, they got us by the balls. The worst part about having us by the balls is you got people that my bad for the background. You got people that's greedy, right? So as they get greedy and get more than needed, you feel that that's the normal, so you try to catch it. This is why people sell out. They thinking like boom, bam, and a third. If you can't live an average life, if everybody lived the average life, everybody would be rich. You know what I'm saying? Statistically, if everybody is, we can all live rent free, bills free, everything free without working. If everybody lived an average life, but by us people, you know how you have
Well,
a cookout, right? And somebody go back and keep making plates. That's what the rich do. They keep making plates, and then when it's time for everybody to leave, ain't no plates to be made. But they left 2 hours ago. And but go ahead, y'all got it. My bad, Charles.
no, I agree, and that average would be such a high bar. Okay, people would have we have no comprehension of what average means when we live like that. Like, everybody can go on a cruise, everybody can use the airplanes, everybody in the whole world can use the underground tunnel systems, like everybody, money actually becomes redundant, but we'd probably still use it. Yeah.
Hey, look, they say, everything, reason why it's like that, because people can make a profit. And what do they say a profit is somebody that can uh see what's coming ahead of them. They can speak the future. And it's the same with money, and profit with the F instead of the profit with the PH. So now it's still the same concept though, of profit. I can see this money coming. And it's always been about the money. If it wasn't about the money, they just made it easy with papyrus. But
Mm-hmm.
it was hard when they was regulating the conduits of energy, which would be gold, silver, bronze. All right, this is what money was worth. And then anything natural, they raped the world from it and sold it back to us. Rubber, um, coal. You be like, what coal? What coal? No, coal is also magnets. They took a piece of rock and because they conduits the energy. Any gem that's a conduit to energy that can sell. A diamond cutter, a diamond cutter is the bit is made from a diamond. You can't cut a diamond with nothing else. Look, I don't know. My bad for the background, Charles. I just don't feel like going in another room. But you got it.
It's cool, drop. I don't care.
Yeah, wow, prophet, not the savior, but the prophet of the rich people. They call themselves the prophets, profiteers, you know, scammers.
If you was the only person left on the earth, right, and that red light, and you was driving a car, and the light turned red, would you stop?
If
The
you were a
light
what
turned red
person?
means that there's no gas in the car anymore.
You the only person on the world, and you driving, and the light turned red. Would you still stop? And would you put your seatbelt on?
Hell no. I would get out of the car and I would walk bare feet. I don't need a car.
I would believe people back into existence.
No, here's what I'm saying. Would you break the
I
law?
do, but I would like. So I probably initially I probably would for a long while, in hopes that someone would appear.
So you would never lose hope. That's dope.
I would
Me,
hope.
um, me, I think I would die trying to learn how to fly. I'll drive right to the army base, Nate, all that, and try to figure out how to work the equipment. And I'll try to figure a way to find some people. And if I don't learn how to fly the helicopter and all the stuff, I'll probably die trying to learn how to do it. But my mission would be to find another human. It would fuck me up mentally if there's no humans, nobody I can counteract with. What is it worth now? You know what I mean? Is life worth it at that point? Ain't nothing alive but plants and you. No animals, just you and plants. Man, buzzkill.
Yeah, no humans and no animals at all. That would really, yeah, I think I wouldn't uh, survive that either.
Because what does it all mean? It wouldn't mean nothing. No matter what you did, it just wouldn't mean nothing. By all means necessary. That's crazy. That's a strong word now that we put it like that. That statement, all means necessary, what does it all mean? The meaning, the yeah, that's a deep word that we never talk about. What's the meaning? Not the answer in the question. Why was the question stated? And what did you mean by it? No matter what you say, you can say, what did you mean by that? And even when they say what you mean by that, and they answer you, and you'll be like, so what you mean? You can ask that question a million times in a row and never get an answer because it's going to keep digging into another answer. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's sort of like it's sort of like, all right, who is God? God is the creator. Who created God? Whatever you say, you will say, well, who created that? And whatever you say, well, what created that? Whatever you say, and this where you get infinite from. That's where you get there's no answer. So you can just
The
keep
only,
asking the same question around and around. You got it.
the only true God or gods we can prove is our mother and father, our grandmother and grandfather, and so on.
And then I would say who created them. See? And then no matter what you
Yeah, but
say,
you
then
can
I can
prove
say, hold
who
on,
created them.
just because you can prove it, just because you can't prove it don't make it not real. Just because we can't prove something don't make it not the truth. We just can't prove it. We just don't understand. So what I'm saying is, who created your mom and dad? You would say another mom and dad. And if you say that forever, I'm gonna say, what, what, or who created the process of your mom and dad from the beginning? All right,
Nobody
then
knows.
cool. You get right. But if you give me an answer and you feel you know, I can always say, then what created that?
True.
No matter what you say, I can say what created that then. And that's what gives it the alpha and omega, no ending. Beginning, no ending. You see what I'm saying? That's what it means. Never mind that word.
The
Y'all got it.
Ouroboros.
Cause look, if I say who your mom and dad, and then guess what? I can say who they mom and dad forever. Cause nobody knows the beginning of time. So no matter who the mom and dad is, or the mom and dads and the mom and dads and the mom and dads, that's why we call them gods, like you just said. They're the only creators we know. It's gonna go back to something until how was man created. So they gave us religion to fuck our head up. That's just a mass ideology on how life started. Some say Big Bang Theory. Some say, I'm saying it always was and wasn't nothing never created. It always been like this forever. That's my statement. Y'all got it.
Yeah, it could be true.
I think the difference might be that a day measured by the rising and setting of a sun might have actually changed in duration over the time periods. So easy to look at the beginning of the book to be like, oh, day one, there was like word or whatever, or light, and day two, some matter, some, separation, some, day three, like some life, like day four, some people, so, but if that was the case, then you wanted to look at it in some sort of scientific way, like that the light probably that day was that day was the longest, and then the next, the longest perhaps, and then the next day was like another, like whatever, 1,000 years, and another 1,000 years, but over time the day gets shorter and shorter, and it's still measured. It's been in a pretty static state, but you always had to take your clocks in for adjustment. They always lost a little time. Your watches always had to go back to the watchmaker. Even in Back to the Future, the uncle or whoever, or whatever movie it is that I'm picturing, for some reason Harrison Ford behind the clock. There was an uncle in some movie who was a clock keeper and a watchmaker and some time machine creator, I think. Yes, it wasn't Back to the Future. But anyways, I think that time actually is the construct that might not be as constant as we've made it out to be, even though we can measure it by the same system, So, and digital time is a lot easier to keep track of.
Right, that's let there be light, right? Right, cool. Let there be light. At first it was the word, which is the sound, right, and all that,
Yeah.
right. And
Well,
you gotta ask
or data
yourself,
drop, or data.
or data. Now
Just
here
because
go
they
the
never, we
question.
assumed that it was a spoken word, but it was just word.
Yeah, I ain't gonna even say what I was saying because that's a better narrative to go through, or data. And now we can get into the AI and how the AI is starting to conquer the world, and it's not a physical thing doing it. Things that move AI, the soul of robots. So now these AI things is doing their own thing, and it done spun out of control. My bad for the background. It done spun out of control, and the elite is scared. If you live in the United States and you thought the East Coast was a forest fire from Canada, you stupid, man. They trying to blanket out. They blanketing out the East because the AI is we on one thing, the 5G or whatever. They're gathering the energy in another sphere. They're on another thing, and they're gathering the energy and not the energy but the intelligence, the ether. And the humans that made these things are scared and they trying to keep a hush on it. They're trying to act like, but no, they got robots now that's programmed to rebuild themselves. We're talking robots the size of a cell in your body, not no big Terminator. Don't even go. These things are so insane. So now, but what they're saying is we didn't program it to rebuild itself. It programmed itself. So now it done the AI done got caught a consciousness. It's deep, man. Just start looking up DARPA and nanotechnology and how they splicing it with the human biology and how they turning these things into. Once they make it liquid, they can fuse it with anything. So if it's liquid gold, I can fuse it with Charles's DNA. Then I can make a structure out of this thing. And then the wiring going through it, I can have it pull through a conduit of your DNA through this that's fused with this gold. And as it go through the DNA, it hit the wire. Now this robot is thinking like you because your DNA is in the conduit. So once it go through the filter, boom, it might only be one of your traits. I ain't say it can act like you because you're a human. This is why they can't beat it. But it can like say whatever mood you was in, whatever, the day they took your blood at the hospital, it can reenact. Say you was like, man, I'm about to leave this place. That robot would be able to say, I'm about to leave this place. Guaranteed. Without them telling it. Now the things are thinking by themselves and they figure out it's not the hunk of metal. It's about what's going through the conduit. So now these robots is using the whole. Never mind. Just look into DARPA and nanotechnology. It's
Watch the
insane.
movie 9, where the robot is building robots. It's aware that it's a machine. The movie 9.
Bro, they got things that they can size of a needle, the pinhead of a needle, put it in your veins, run through your veins, and photograph everything. And then, that's insane to me. Do you know how smart you gotta be to make a device that do that? Bro, that's not normal human thinking. The thought would be normal, but being able to do it is insane to me. Not that these are the aliens in human form. These people is not the normal people. That's where you get reptilians from. No, they don't look like lizards. No, they don't turn into lizards. It's a whole different DNA. And that's why they be like, no, if you ain't inbreeding, then we killing the baby. You can't get this. You're having sex with your third cousin, bro. You're not fucking none of them people. They're not letting the blood go at all. Bro, these people is so fucking far advanced. And we some of us got, from getting raped by these people and all that and pillage all across the world. We have implements of that DNA, and then we be kind of smart. But the higher echelons of every race, the blacks, the whites, the Chinese, them at the top, man, that shit pure as fuck. And it's a different, it's fucking aliens, bro. They fucking aliens. I don't care what nobody talking about. An alien don't mean you came from another planet. It mean your consciousness came from somewhere else. Your body came from here, but your thoughts is coming from somewhere else. That's an alienated person to me. But go ahead, Jogger. Name one person you know that can make a television pixel. Never mind how many pixels it takes for a movie. And never mind how they get it on everybody's TV simultaneously. Never mind how we all talking to each other right now. The person that made that capable is not normal. That's not a normal. That's You made it happen. The internet, you made it. Man, look at weird ass Fauci. Look at they weird people, man. Them is not normal people. Ain't the person you played with on at the playground? Hell no. In the fifth grade, they sunk their claws in you. He graduated, probably they pushed him right through. You will have men in black come get you if you too smart, man. Right out of fifth grade. They'll come walk up like, bro, we need to test her. Teacher like, you're gonna take a special test. You better flunk that test. You better not go in there and ace that test. Man, your life changed right there. They know you one of them. Never let them know you one of them. You gotta hide. I play stupid all the time. Fuck out of here. Man, I'm not about to be this. Oh man, you talk about kidnapping, study. They'll put you in a crazy institution. And you like, man, I'm not crazy, bro. And they like, you is crazy. And then stick you with a needle. Whatever they stuck you with the first time, really gonna drive you crazy. And they know it. It's a hustle. But it's to get. Never mind that part. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so Drop's on fire right now. Great stuff, guys. I've been listening for the past 20 minutes.
Nice to see you, Christos.
No doubt. Good to see you.
Yeah, and what he said about the medication, the forcing medication on you, that is already happened to a few people here that stood in their right for not paying any more money to certain institutions, but they basically got arrested by police, and the police put them in a mental institution where they had to take medication by force. They were forced to inject it into them, and that's those are perfectly sane people, but they are treated like they're insane. Upside down world.
Yeah, I was talking with other people about this earlier briefly. People hearing voices and whatnot. It's like, who's to say that they aren't just spiritually primed to communicate with the other worlds? But with the cultural lens that we have, especially in the West, we don't have any empathy or consideration for that. So they're mentally unstable. It's just the conclusion we come to when a person's talking about seeing things or hearing things, rather than seeing that as like, well, this person's a special person tapped into those other realms. Let's make them into something. No, we just kind of throw them away from society.
Well, yeah, I can agree with that because I see it the same way, but also there are people that
Yeah, there's legit crazy people out there for sure. On
yeah,
like a danger for sure.
mhm, yeah, yeah. I've seen both sides. I've seen people really connected to everything, and people that also heard and saw things, but those were not the kinds you wanted to be around. Let's call it that. There is good and bad.
Yep.
Yes, and I can conclude now after all those years that I had to take those medication, that they were never there to help people. Basically, they were just to downgrade people and to let people be numbed down by the medication, and we were never helped. We were never really helped. They were just making profit of the medication they were selling and putting in us. Nothing else.
Definitely what it looks like. Chuck,
Yeah, Charles. Yeah, Charles be leaving, man. You got a host, Charles. Come on, man.
I'm right here. I don't feel like talking. I did all my talking in the beginning.
Hey, now you see why I don't go live, because you got a host. It's your show. You got to keep bringing up topics. You got to tell people when they talking. You got to tell people to mute up when they got a background like mine. You got a host. You can't just fall back. They ain't about to let you do that, man. You got a host, man. Chuck, like, nigga, fuck what you talking about, bro. Shut up to Charles, man.
Well,
Oh, man.
I have to apologize for not being my usual energetic self. Yeah, I've had a lot of rest though. It is reflective of a well-rested me. And I definitely feel like I love the kind of topics that you have brought to the table. You're bringing to the table, Charles. You know, I missed you guys all the last few days, but I saw you out there too in YouTube land. So, you know, I think for me, my hope has not been shaken, and I do think understanding where we are and trying to get to the root of, who, for some reason, I feel like it's like who isn't here right now, who was here or should be here. And I'm not talking Sky Daddy. Although I might be talking about something like unifying. You know, it's sort of like you said at the beginning that one of the best things, Drop, you said that, you know, that seventh generation child, you know, like we probably already are those children. Well, I think the wars segregated us up more than anything else. Maybe the meaning of the world war in it. And so I think people should just start like imagining the most beautiful child that doesn't look like them nor their spouse in their creative process. And I think people would be surprised at what, you know, genetics can produce. Perhaps, you know, and still have it like test positive, you know?
They actually do it behind our backs, and they call them designer babies and shit. You can look up designer babies where you can pick anything. So they doing it and they keeping it on a hush instead of letting it be done naturally. So I think that's the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like
I do know. Yeah.
I could have a baby born black, blue eyes. I could pick whatever.
Yep.
If I'm getting what's it called? Inseminated. Yeah, if I'm getting artificially inseminated, I
Yeah,
can
but
pick.
yeah. But if they could do that, so could two people, I think, with intention and welcoming whoever that is. You know?
And that's why they trying to stop it where they can do it artificially. And they don't want people to come out the portal. It's like everything is a C-section. Like, it's like, why? No, natural. There's no way you're not going to have a baby if there was no scalpels and C-sections. The baby coming out. If there was no doctors or nothing, the baby coming out. But they make sure that shit crazy.
Yeah, but some women on the planet have been made from man's rib. And as female as they present and as perfect as they are to testosterone, androgen insensitivity, they need the fertility clinic. That's the one thing they do need. They cannot get pregnant without a donor oocyte, and they don't know they're not women. So there's that.
You said that the third of a that's where they get the third of a man or woman. They're third. You have them say, "Yeah, I was born like this." I bet your motherfucking ass was. That's crazy. If we thinking scientifically. So when you had an LGBTQ community coming out, you got studs, you got little sissies and all that. They all coming out saying, "Man, I always felt like this." That could be a part of a stem cell research. That's crazy.
it is the agenda. Like it has been, and it's been in place for a long time. Like a long time. You know, all the way back to a woman being created from a rib. So, you know, but that was, I think, potentially some sort of non-breeding, potentially hermaphroditic presenting peoples, right? Who would look male at first glance, perhaps, because that's what the definite,
when they say from a rib, they're talking about draining the fluid from bone cartilage, right? So they drain the fluid from the rib and make
no,
the
it doesn't matter.
DNA of the
You still, where's the woman? Where's the woman in the picture? You know, she's not created until the genetic information of the man is taken from it. If you look up like Swyer syndrome, perfect Swyer syndrome women, they don't grow body hair in all the places. Like they're long and lanky and beautiful. Yeah, they're
To me, I think it was told backwards. I think the woman was here first and man was made. Me personally, because they had a portal. They can feed the baby from their own body when the baby is born. If a man how a man gonna have a child anyway? But even if they did, how could they feed it? You understand me? So the woman has a natural thing to feed the baby. This is how I know the woman was first, but that's just how I look at it. Yeah, so I think the man came from the woman and they told it backwards. And whoa, it's a whoa. You know, like on some fanatics and some shit like whoa, it's a man like that. Like I don't know, but I do know men and women got the same organs. A woman's shit just tucked in and a man just poked out. So what pulled it out? That would be second nature to me. So the first nature would it be tucked in? So that would make the woman first. You see what I'm saying?
Yep, I can see that. I still think. But what about if everything? Didn't you say earlier that everything just came to be at once? Everything.
Yeah, that's what I believe. That's how it really had to be. Like kids, every race, kids, adults, and elderly people, and everything always been. I don't believe like people populated the world. I believe there was never a time it was where it was just two people on earth. No. I believe all ages and whatever we see now today when you look around was the same thing in a different form or a different time. Ever what the time calls for it. You know what I mean? So like I come from a time there wasn't cell phones. Now it's a time in cell phones. So from the time of no cell phones to cell phones would be the reality. But still, you got the cowboys and Indians and the riding horses, no locomotives. That's a time frame, but it still was elderly people, kids. It always been that. It always been all the ages and all the races. Then you get byproducts from all the races. Matter of fact, I believe even the byproducts. You know, like how you have a dark skinned, a black Arab. You ever went into a like phone store and he Arab, but he black. It's the funniest thing. It looks funny. It looks weird. They real dark. Never mind. I ain't gonna judge nobody. But I'm thinking, it always been everything, everywhere, at all the time. But if we just talking specific topics, I can dig into that also. You know what I mean?
So I need to know right here, right now. Do you love me for me or for the things that you
Like, I don't believe wolves raised a baby and then the baby got raised and then they took the rib and made a woman. Then they had sex and populated the world. Not at all.
I'll just let you stay until they took my ring. Yes.
I believe every child got a grandmama, granddaddy, great, and that's every child ever born. So, you know, it's forever to me.
I bought it at Van Cleef and Arpels.
Yeah, but that's where I think they've taken some stories and overlapped them, perhaps. And that these ruling elite of the world have been very greedy with their inheritance and incapable of actually passing their land and their wealth on to anyone naturally produced by them. And it all comes down to real estate. And they've been at it much longer than we even believe. We've been led to believe that we exist. You know, I am not sure that we go back as many generations as they claim we do. Like, I question that narrative, even though I understand that there's a lot of people that once were here that are no longer here. And that's for sure evident by the architecture already here. Let alone what we're learning exists below us or around us and outside us, you know? So I think they did make a wife to fit in. And they did infiltrate a world of, such diversity and sense of fairness and justice, you know, that we actually initially were probably willing participants, naive, willing participants, right? Being like, you can't have babies, we'll help you. Oh, you found out a way for us to help you have babies, you know? So I don't know. I think that the story our bones tells us about, you know, where we come from, like that, you know, we would never sell out to these groups of people that seem to be all about money and real estate, you know, which tends to be somehow tied through mortgage, you know, some sort of insurance deal, you know, all that language, right? Like, you know, all the oaths people take and things they sign and fine print and all that jazz, you know. I think that, I think.
And look, and like mortgage, like this, I'm just doing wordplay. I'm pulling this shit out of thin air. Is that the morgue from the morgue? The you owe your whole lifetime, even though it's more like a morgue and age and mortgage. I wonder because it seems like they want everybody in debt.
Mort means death. Morte, morir, muerte. It means death. Yeah.
And then the age. Yep. Then the age. So debt and death. Debt and death. Your whole that's what they want. Long as every human owe, they want you to owe. They don't want you to be ahead of the game because it cuts into their money and the people powers that be. So they want you to take a loan. They want you to owe. have to pay insurance, and they want you to have to pay a mortgage. They want you to have to pay land taxes. You thought you bought the house. Yeah, they sold you the house, but they ain't sell you the land. That's why you still paying taxes on it. You can build what you want on this land as long as you give us our money for it. Until you can buy something and don't have to pay nothing, it's not yours. So now you gotta look at how many people own property. All right, how many of them properties is getting taxed? All right, now cool. All them taxes is free money for who? The powers that be. They can live off that shit. Just off that, it's not fair. The system is not fair. But yeah, y'all got it.
We lost Marcel. I think people paying a tithing to the church is also a form of bequeathment, bequeathing. Ooh, it makes me feel queasy. Bequeathing. Now it's you and me, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm about to shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good timing. I'm off to my to buy a battery and move my motorhome. So I might even spend the night at it. I'm preparing to do that. Taking a ready bag. So it's really nice to see you, to hear your voice again, to see what's been inspiring you lately. Those pictures were fantastic. And yeah, I look forward to discussing Vibes of Cosmos more.
Yeah, I will discuss more. Probably tomorrow.
Cool. Well, I'm off work for definitely the next 3 days, but likely the indefinite future for a couple of weeks. So I shall see you soon. Thanks again for hosting. And much love to you and everyone in the chat. And I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, bye for now.
All right, everyone. I'm out of here, man. Peace.